Our You Decide coverage continues right now with a focus on the special election for District 21. Steve Nail and Dianne Michell are facing off in the runoff race to be the district's next state representative. This seat opened up when Bobby Cox stepped down. It covers the eastern side of Greenville County, including Greer and down to Five Forks. Now, we've had both candidates in studio to get their thoughts on the biggest issues at the State House right now, and none likely bigger than roads and bridges. We asked each one how they plan to finally find and fund a fix to our crumbling infrastructure.
Proper funding is something that's important, but I'm not sure that it's the only answer. I think we've got some structural problems in the DOT that we need to look at. South Carolina Policy Council has some great, interesting work on this because they have realized that we have most of our roads are designated as state roads, and it's probably way too many for us to be able to effectively handle at the DOT. So we need to slowly over time probably look at turning these roads back over to the counties, which is much better when you have things closer to local control. So that's part of it. And I think that the other thing we need to do is just make sure that our processes are clear on exactly how we determine which roads are the most important ones to be done. And possibly the last thing is maybe we should consider putting the DOT under an elected official. It is currently under an elected official with the governor, but how about if we gave it to the lieutenant governor with his specific duty to take care of looking over the DOT?
I've talked to the roads people. I do not believe that we have a huge financial issue. I think it's more of a permitting issue. When I talk to them, they talk about the delays, and I ask them, why in the world does it take 2 years to put a 25-foot bridge in or replace a 25-foot bridge? And they talk about permitting. I've actually met a couple of times with various folks that are more inclined to say that's the issue than the actual financing. If you look at the budget last year, for example, there was a $1.8 billion surplus. So it's not like there's not funds to do this. It's just more about, I think we need to actually declare a state of emergency, and I think it's warranted because you've got over 900 bridges, for example, that are in disrepair or non-functional right now, which is dangerous. Not only dangerous, but it adds cost to businesses. If you have a trucking company or you're shipping products or you're receiving products, you've got to go around bridges that aren't operational at this point.
Now, another top issue at the State House, the state income tax. Many leaders are looking to take the tax down to zero. Both Michell and Nail say they do want to get it to zero. Nail says he has a 3-point plan that also addresses property taxes. Another part of his plan involves artificial intelligence.
We know that AI is going to eliminate over 9.2 million jobs in America. That equals about 6%. The state government is ripe for this because you've got so many jobs that could be converted and use AI instead of people. If you reduce 10%, you would save about $500 million per year.
We can't do that unless we cut spending. And spending is probably one of the biggest things that we need to look at before we can do anything like this. So I think there are 3 ways we can do that. We have legislative agencies and executive agencies. They are tasked with doing DOGE-like efforts, and the names of those are Legislative Audit Council, the Inspector General. But one thing they need is subpoena power to be able to help get those information that they need. And then when they do have recommendations, they're not necessarily followed.
Now, we also wanted to follow up with Nail on his plan and how it involves artificial intelligence. We asked about the potential of state employees losing their jobs.
Why should the state government not be as efficient and effective as private industry? Why do we as taxpayers not demand that our state be at least as efficient as an average company would be? Because it's our money that's paying for these things.
Now, lastly, here tonight with polls opening in just about 12 hours, we asked both candidates why they believe that they're the best candidate for the job.
I'm the best candidate for the job because I'm retired. I have the time to do it. I have the experience. I can start be on the ground running when I get there because I'm familiar with Columbia. And I know the playing fields, and I know I've been down there enough as a citizen to know what needs to be happening. And I'm a teacher. There are not many teachers in the legislature, and especially a Republican teacher. So I think somebody with an education background would be a breath of fresh air down there.
Now I'm the Dean of the College of Business, teaching business law and labor and employment law in a Christian university, the largest Christian university in the state, which has, I think, well prepared me for all the issues, or many of the issues, and most of the issues, which are business or legal related, that come into the state legislature.